Welcome back to Great British Biking Adventures and to our tour of Ireland. As you can see, this is episode 6. Let me start with an explanation because it won't be long before you realise there's something very different, indeed wrong, with what you're about to watch compared to what you're used to. The title of this episode is Disaster Strikes. You may have clicked thinking something dreadful has happened, such as falling off the bike. Whilst I'm glad to say it's not nearly as bad as that, at least that would have given us some content to show you. The disaster didn't become apparent until I sat down a couple of weeks ago to edit this episode. Can you guess what it is from the clue and what you've seen so far? The disaster is every filmmaker's worst nightmare. Lost footage.
Oh dear, before I hand back to Misery Guts, let me fill this gap with a piece of fascinating history. Poitín is Irish moonshine made from potatoes that the locals around here first started to distill 1,500 years ago. By all accounts, it was pretty strong stuff. In 1661, the British government passed the Illicit Distillation Act, a law prohibiting Irish and British families from privately producing any form of alcohol. This decision provoked an outcry, but just like America's attempt at prohibition, it had the opposite effect. Production and smuggling thrived, especially around these parts. They went as far as declaring themselves a republic, and by closing their Memor Gap, were able to cut themselves off from the rest of the world for 3 years. Eventually, the British Redcoats were sent to crush the rebellion. Both the government and the Catholic Church used their power and influence to stamp out poitín, and it was banned for 3 centuries. It wasn't until 1997 that the ban was lifted. Even now, only selected Irish distilleries are allowed to produce poitín because of how potent it can be. It has a very strong character, and the alcohol content can reach as high as 95%. You might need some after hearing the rest of his sorry tale of woe.
You'll get to see Esther holding our main camera a lot in this episode, but you won't see 1 second of the hours of footage she captured. Let me explain. Our onboard footage is captured using 2 action cameras. Esther holds one and the other is mounted on the bike, usually on the left-hand mirror. Esther's is the main A-roll camera and also captures our voices from microphones in each of our helmets. I operate the other camera and it's purely supplementary. are B-roll. In some episodes, such as the last one, it doesn't even feature at all. In addition, we have the drone and will sometimes use our mobile phones, especially when we go out in the evening or when posting short clips back to the family when we're on our travels. Thankfully, we managed to use the bike-mounted camera and our phones a lot this day, otherwise we'd have nothing to show you. So what happened? When we returned home from our travels, the first thing I did was to download all the footage from the camera's memory cards to a dedicated hard drive. At this point, I also separate the footage into folders based on days. I am acutely aware of how easy it is to make mistakes and lose footage. Well, as much as I thought I had methodically sorted and saved our footage, somehow I completely skipped what Esther had captured on this day. Instead, I copied yesterday's footage twice. We filmed this part of the Ireland trip in May this year, but the problem only became apparent in September. By that time we had recorded more footage over the memory cards, and there was no way we could retrieve what was lost. Initially, my heart sank when I discovered this, but I quickly reminded myself if this is all I have to worry about, then I am blessed. I think it's what's called a 21st century problem. In other words, not a real problem at all. So sit back and enjoy, and see if I can make a silk purse out of a sow's ear.
With no onboard audio, you'll be getting an episode full of voiceovers then. For those viewers who have been with us since the beginning, this will be reminiscent of those early videos. Let me kick off by bringing you up to date. This is our 4th day in Ireland, but we're only just commencing what we came for, the Wild Atlantic Way. The previous 5 episodes have documented our adventures getting from Ireland's most southeasterly corner to its most northwesterly corner via the Wicklow Mountains, Belfast, Northern Ireland's amazing coast roads and the Northwest 200 motorcycle road race. Check out those episodes, especially if you want to see what our videos are normally like. Yesterday, we stayed at Ireland's most northerly B&B, the Solus Toban Art House at Malin Head. This morning we start our 1600-mile journey south along the Wild Atlantic Way, a wonderful way-marked scenic coastal road trip. It was officially opened in 2014 by the Irish Tourist Board. It's quite an endeavour to do it all, especially in one go. We're hoping we might be able to complete it this trip, but it's going to be a push. As you may know, we have ridden the coastline of England and Wales, but we've already got an inkling this is going to be different. We had to navigate our way around England and Wales, and it wasn't easy keeping to the coast. Not only is this route signposted, but it seems Ireland has many more, better and longer coast roads than we do. It is possible to simply follow the signs, but we are also using this route guide and atlas. It separates the whole journey into 16 sections they call drives. Each drive has a 4-page description. We didn't stick to the guide's itinerary. Most days we completed more than one drive. He doesn't like to hang around. The guide also provides a really detailed set of maps. The Wild Atlantic Way is generally well signposted. That said, in the last episode we had our first experience of what appeared to be interference with the signs. Along the way, there are 187 discovery points, scenic views, beaches, historical locations and other points of interest. There are also 15 signature discovery points. These are the must-see iconic locations.
What does she mean? I don't like to hang around. Well, just for the record, here's one of our many stops. Hi Jarrod, this is just a reminder of your booking with Fisherman's Village for tomorrow, or later today if you've just booked for today. Crumbs.
Yeah, I was a bit worried then.
When you arrive, the entrance is through the yellow door, which will be unlocked.
Massive waves.
The final kind of push. So, how am I doing with that sow's ear? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, this day is not quite over, and the best is yet to come. We started the day at Malin Head, Ireland's most northerly point. We've made our way around this beautiful craggy coast, through the Mammoth Gap, visited Inch Island and seen the iconic Fanid Head. We've just booked our accommodation for tonight. A small cluster of old fishermen's cottages owned and managed by our host Heather. They're primarily a dive centre run by her husband, but also cater for tourists when there are no dive trips. She had just listed the cottages when we saw them on booking.com. In fact, a pair of French motorcyclists who have been on our tails all day ended up there as well.
In the evening we took a taxi to the nearby town of Downings. The proper Irish name is on the screen now. In fact, we're in one of Ireland's official Gaeltacht regions, where Irish Gaelic culture and language takes precedence. This was the first time we ate out, and as we were to discover, finding great places to eat in Ireland was never a problem. Even in the smallest towns we were spoiled for choice, and there was nearly always an exceptional eatery somewhere. We were pleased as tourists to be in the minority. It seems the Irish really value getting out and are very discerning. Consequently, not only were the pubs and restaurants very good, there was also a really authentic atmosphere. We ate at the Goose and Gander, an exceptional pizzeria. We loved the way it blended Irish character with a contemporary vibe, and the service was spot on. On the recommendation of our taxi driver, we ended the evening at the Harbour Bar, a proper Irish pub. The musicians were the centre of attention, and everyone was singing along. There was only one free table, and it happened to be front and centre. We must have stuck out like a sore thumb, so thank you to the locals for tolerating us. I hope you don't mind us capturing and showing the amazing talent that made this one of the best nights out we had.